Well, everybody, this guy and his band have done a lot. They just don't seem to stop. Relentless touring, working. I'm hearing some whistling going on there. What's up, Jarvis?
What's up, Rob? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, and I have to point out again, Night Demon just does not seem to rest. You guys just keep going out there.
We're in the studio actually right now, writing some songs, and we're just working on one. It's called Road Warriors, actually, and it's kind of about that. It's funny you say that. But no, man, I mean, we don't stop. There's no reason to, really. I mean, we really enjoy doing it, and there's a lot of momentum right now, and I mean, we've dedicated ourselves to doing this, so there's really no other option. I do have a day job. It's called Night Demon. It's a night job too.
You truly have dedicated yourself to this, because I'm just thinking back, because it was this past semester, Curse of the Damned came out, and sure enough, you had been in Europe, and then you had this whole, and even before that, you did the shows of Raven in the fall.
And the Skullfist tour in the winter, too.
Yeah.
So we've been home for about, a little over 20 days in the last, this year. But probably 5 weeks in the last 8 months.
But I do remember talking to you about before, I think it was Curse of the Damned came down, we did a interview, you called in, and you were telling me how you really wanted to tour this album, how you guys were going to go out there once it was released. You really wanted to put the time and work into getting this album, playing the songs live, and you've been doing that. So
yeah, absolutely, and it's unfortunate because a lot of bands in our position, as far as younger bands or bands that are newer, a lot of people don't really get to see them until maybe their second or third album, just because of the nature of the touring lifestyle and how a lot of bands don't really go out that extensively. But for us, we wanted to be like Maiden, in the early days where it's okay, you have a new record, you have to go promote it, and you have to play in every corner of the world that'll have you, and play that album, instead of, we don't want to go back, we don't want to make a new record and go back and have people want to hear, all the songs that they've never heard live, because that would just be impossible. So, I mean, it's that was our goal, and it's still, we're still touring off the record. I mean, we're home until mid-September, but we're doing a few weeks in Mexico and traveling that entire country, and then we come back and we're doing a festival that we have here, some one-offs, and then we may go out in November for a month in the States again with Holy Grail. We're talking about it right now. We're trying to put it together, but that's what we have to do. So we'll keep touring on this until the next one comes out, and then when that comes out, we'll just start touring on that. But I mean, that's really the only way for us to take it seriously enough. Where if you don't want to have a day job and work and you're in a band, then the only way to do it at this level is to just be gone for so long that nobody would ever even hire you for a job.
That's very true. Yeah, I mean, all the days are taken off. Not many employers, unless it's they're desperate for some work on the side. It's, to me, what you guys have been doing. Who would have thought when I first reviewed that EP, a few years back. I mean, the level that you guys have gotten to, and a quick story I wanted to bring up about, and you might find this humorous. When Curse of the Damned first came out, I asked your permission. I played the entire album on air.
Yes.
And I actually made these flyers, and I put them all around SSU's campus. So on every other billboard, there was a Night Demon logo, telling people to check out the show, hear the album. I didn't even get permission because the school had this whole official permission thing, and I said, forget that. I want to get these things out right away. So I put them all, DIY, don't, even have any approval. Sure enough, 2 months later, after I did the whole live album on air, the flyers were still there, Jarvis. Either SSU really liked the logo, or they just didn't even pay attention, or didn't even notice. So you had 2 months of free promotion all around SSU's campus. I had all these friends saying to me, yeah, I went to class, and sure enough, on the door, there was still that Night Demon, flyer.
Man, dude, we really appreciate stuff like that, and that's the same kind of work ethic that we have when we actually hire street teams and stuff. When we have a show, I mean, we do a lot of physical promotion and stuff like that, and even on tour, we visit all the record stores in every town, If they don't have our record, we get it in the shelves. We talk to the people who are there. We send them posters in advance. You can't, like, there's never really enough things that you can do, for your passion in life. So I think that, we're like-minded people, and like, you've been a supporter since we started. So we want to support you back by, doing interviews and keep coming up to the Bay Area and playing. We'll be there next week with Holy Grail at Bottom of the Hill.
There you go. Get the plug in here. I wanted to announce that. Yes, here it is. So for everybody, next week, Bottom of the Hill, Wednesday, August 12th. It'll be Holy Grail, Night Demon. And then is it Asada? Masai, what's the other band?
Yeah, I'm really not sure.
So it's on. They'll be there. So you got three bands, it looks like. And then it's going to be a really good show, I think.
And we must address there's somebody else on the show, DJ Metal Rob. Which is not you.
I know, it's not me, people. Do not get mistaken for that. There's another guy out there, I guess. So
I think you need to show up to that show with a cease and desist.
I gotta get my lawyers.
DJ Metal Rob.
But see, I have the quotes guy, right? The metal guy. So it's like, I guess it's somewhat different. Like, there's a band called Night Demon, the Metal Dudes or something. And that's still kind of close, though. You're the only Night Demon, right? We have that squared away. There's going to be no...
I think there's like a twisted romance novel out there called Night Demon, but there's no other band with that name. Not that I'm aware of. I think I would have known by now. Yeah. And we did, we heavily researched it before we chose the name, but we copyrighted the name as well. So we went through that U.S. Patent Office. So I guess we own it. I hope we own it.
There you go. Yeah,
it's sad because bands have run into that problem before. They sign bad record deals and they have to go out and play under a different name because they don't even own their own likeness or their own name or their logo. It's ridiculous. And it takes a long time to square that away, but we're not trying to fall into that category.
Yeah,
so.
And I think I also want to bring up here, because I've looked at this and you brought up how you're doing this festival, and I think people should really know about this Frost and Fire Festival. You look at the lineup, and whoever put this together, it's brilliant. You got Manila Road, Night Demon, Visigoth. Oh, you have Bad on there.
Yeah.
Cantation.
Thanks, man. Yeah, we put that together ourselves, actually. That's been we've been talking for a couple of years about that the West Coast has no true heavy metal festival. There's one in New York, there's one in Chicago, and there's one in Vegas. And in Europe, there's about 150.
My goodness,
but there's only 3 here, and the West Coast needs one. And we're in a position now, where we've gotten around enough, and we've played with all these great bands, and we've become friends with them. That for us to be able to put something together like this, the timing was right. We were originally going to go for 2016. We actually have a date in September, a whole weekend locked. So we still plan on that. But for some reason, Manila Road was coming out, and they reached out to us for some help, like with some dates and stuff. And they wanted us to do some dates with them. And Savage Master's going to be on tour anyway. And, so at that point, I just said, okay, well, let's do this now. I mean, let's put this festival together now. And we did so, and then once you get the meat of the lineup, you got guys like that and Visigoth, and that will say, well, shit. I mean, we'll come out for that,
Oh yeah, that's great.
We'll come out and play that thing, And then Ashbury's right in Tucson, Arizona. So we've been talking about having them on even next year. And I said, hey, you want to jump it up a year? So they're making the drive, and the tickets are selling very, very well. It's already halfway sold out. And it's shocking to me, but it's great. It's going to be a good showing for sure. And we've sold the festival is in Ventura, California, right on the beach. It's a very nice town, and we've sold about 3 tickets to people in Ventura County. All the other tickets we sold are from people traveling from all over the place. We sold tickets to Italy, France, Spain, Mexico, Canada, all different states. A lot of NorCal people are coming down. But that's cool. And that's what makes me feel good, is that we're putting on like a worldly event, and it's like the center for heavy metal there. And people are coming out to witness it. So I'm very proud of it. And, somebody needed to step up and do it. And I'm happy that it's us, because I feel that we've played a lot of these things, and I've promoted shows myself throughout the years here, like some big ones too, and I feel that we know how to do it, and we know what the bands want, and we know what the fans want, and we're in a position now where we can pull the trigger on that and make something really cool happen. And hopefully it's going to turn into an annual thing. That's our plan.
That would be great. I think I'm looking at the lineup, and again, you are the right people to do it just because you have the passion, you have the work ethic. That's what, if anybody ever listens to Night Demons music and then you go and see them, there's no disappointment. There's no dull moment. You're not going to fall asleep. Every second is exciting as hell, so that's what I have to say to that. And also, Day of was it here? You got Day of the Shred? Yeah, Day of the Shred.
Yeah, November 1st. With
that
Captain
one, too,
Beyond.
I wanted to promote.
That's in Orange County, California. Yeah, the same guy who puts on the Psycho California Fest. He does this other one, Day of the Shred.
Yeah, this
so
looks
they
great.
do a couple fests a year. It's more of a, like stoner rock kind of vibe. But I mean, that's what's cool about us. I mean, we'll play in front of any audience. I think people can always dig back to the roots of traditional heavy metal and hard rock, and I think that, like, everybody kind of like cut their teeth on that stuff, no matter what genre they're more into these days, whether that be death metal or doom metal or whatever, And we're actually playing a doom fest the day after the Frost and Fire in Tucson, the Southwest Terror Fest. We're playing out there with Sleep and Acid King.
Wow.
So yeah, we've definitely got our hands full. And I will say, I'll tease this a little bit. I won't say what, but the night before Frost and Fire, we will be in the Bay Area playing a show. So that's going to be a crazy weekend for us. It'll be SF on a Friday night, the festival on Saturday in Ventura, and then the festival in Tucson on Sunday. But yeah, we will be in SF on the 16th of October. Announcement will come next week.
You'll hit me up before though, right? You'll secretly message and
Of course, man. Of course.
I got the hookup. Yes.
But for now, we'll be up there next week. So I'm really stoked.
I'm excited
because,
for
the
this.
first time we came out was a year ago, and you were out there. And
yes, that was a great show.
We've been able to come back. I mean, this will be our fourth time and fifth time coming up. So it's really good because from a band from Ventura, we're only a 6-hour drive, and we've really always wanted to crack into the scene up in the Bay, and it's got a long history of great heavy metal out of that area, and we want to fuel the fire for what's happening now. So we're stoked to be able to come out there so much and play on some higher profile bills.
Definitely. Again, Jarvis, keep it up. The hard work, it's really appreciated. The fans like it. The listeners here, again, we keep playing songs from that album, Curse of the Damned, request because it's such a good release. So keep up the great work. I can't wait to see you guys next week. Again, that's August 12th, people. Bottom of the Hill, Night Demon, Holy Grail. Keep posting on that. It's going to be a great show.
Thanks, Rob. We'll see you then.
Thanks, dude. Have a good one. Later.